Hello, lovelies. Are we ready to go live on TikTok?
Yes.
I'm backwards.
Okay.
Okay. Getting ready to go
4,
live on TikTok for the
3,
first time ever.
2, 1. Give me a countdown. Anyway,
What's the countdown?
you're good.
Okay, we're live.
Should be live.
Okay. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to my first ever live here on TikTok. I'm Elizabeth Wheatley. I'm a fantasy romance author. I am super excited. This is the first time I've had enough followers to go live on TikTok. So I want to thank everyone who got us here. And I'm just going to be reading a short excerpt from my book, Dangereth's Assassin. And then we will be talking about meet cutes. So the context of this scene is that earlier, Amira has tried to assassinate Dangereth. She's a cursed assassin. And now they are meeting for the first time properly in a ballroom. And he's figured out who she is, and she's figured out he's figured out who she is. And I love this scene. It's one of my favorites. There's so much tension and angst. And I am going to be reading this for y'all. So I did narrate the audiobook. So it might sound similar if you go and get the audiobook, but it's a little different because I don't remember exactly how I did it there. So I'm just going to read this and hope y'all enjoy it. Feel free to post your comments. I have my husband here who is going to be helping me keep track of comments and make sure that everyone gets answered. If he's very good, I will let him come on camera at the end.
Polaroid says hi.
Hello, Polaroid. So here we go. The Archduke and his would-be assassin faced one another down, the hunter and the quarry. As to which was which, Amira couldn't have said. He knew it was her, she realized. Somehow, he knew. She didn't dare look to her father. She expected him to issue a command at any moment, but he didn't even move. I'm pleased to see you in good health, my lord, she said. How had he recognized her across the room? That was what she wanted to know. And you? Dangereth said. Was that him keeping with courtly etiquette, or did she sense sincerity in those words? I hope you will find your stay in Lashera pleasant. It's had its surprises, Dangereth said, but I'm most pleased thus far. He swept his gaze up and down the length of her. He hadn't looked at Fauna like that. Amira hadn't seen him look at any of the other women like that. You're very beautiful, Lady Amira. Queen Hyle squawked faintly from the dais, and even Thadred shot his cousin a quizzical look. Amira almost choked. Her heart beat faster, and heat crept up her cheeks. Thank you, Your Highness, she stammered. She couldn't return the compliment, not when she knew he wasn't entirely human, not when she knew his princely beauty masked a beast. He still didn't release her hand. Her fingers went clammy, and he still held on to her. Behind them, the queue of nobles had thinned, but several dozen still waited their turn to court the Empire's favor. Their manicured faces watched the Archduke and Amira with both scowls and wide eyes, impatience warring with morbid fascination. I don't wish to take up too much of your time, my lord. Dangereth studied her, as if he dreaded letting her go, but wasn't sure how to make her stay. Will you be joining us to watch the brides dance? By us, Amira presumed he meant himself, his retainers, and the royal couple. King Hyle cleared his throat, sparing Amira the need to answer. Amira is among our most accomplished dancers, but she was recently ill and still recovering. In truth, I believe you should retire soon, my dear. You look pale. Dangereth's hand tightened on hers, almost in a death grip, but then loosened in an instant. It was as if she'd imagined it. I hope you won't go far, my lady. Amira resisted the urge to shudder. The palace is large, but not so large as to become lost, she replied. making a flippant attempt at humor. "Even if you did become lost," Daindreth said, voice soft and pensive, "I think I could find you anywhere." "That sounds like a threat, Your Highness." "Not a threat," Daindreth interjected. "Let there be no threats between us, Lady Amira." He inclined his head slightly, placating. Amira didn't know how to reply. A part of her, some shameful part deep in her core, was intrigued. He fascinated her, this monster in a man's skin, perhaps because, in her own way, she was a monster too. He was her enemy, she was sure of that, but he played at peace very well. "You do look pale, my dear," the king said, stepping up between the Archduke and the assassin, gaze flitting between them nervously. "Return to your chambers and rest now." A command. "Pardon me, Your Highness." Amira extricated herself from the Archduke and his cousin as carefully as she could, backing away. A sense of leaving something behind struck her instantly. She hated abandoning Fawnra with that, but Daindreth intrigued her. She had more questions now than ever. But her father's commands couldn't be ignored. Heart racing, she turned, forgetting to bow, and headed in the direction of her chambers. She expected Daindreth or Thadred to order his guards to stop her, but he let her go. Amira left the feast, but she felt the Archduke's gaze follow her. She glanced back once, half expecting to see the demon's flaming red eyes, but instead she saw only the Archduke, watching her like a man bewitched as she slipped out of the room. That's an excerpt. If you're just joining us, that is an excerpt from my book, Daindreth'S Assassin. I am Elizabeth Wheatley, fantasy romance author, and I really love that scene in Daindreth'S Assassin. It's where Daindreth, the Archduke, is confronting the woman who he knows tried to assassinate him. So one of my favorite romance tropes, as far as meet cutes, is when they are trying to off each other in the beginning. I've done that twice in two of my series, in Warlords of the Sandsea, as well as Daindreth'S Assassin. So the first time the two characters meet is violently in a sword fight, and we have something, baby.
Do you sell any signed books?
At this time, I don't. So I am working on that. That's actually on my to-do list for this month. I am trying
Amber
to get
wants to know.
Amber. Oh, hi, Amber. You made it. I'm so glad you're hopping on. So glad you made it. But yes, I'm working on getting that added on my website right now. Right now, there's just ebooks on there. I'm working on getting audiobooks on there next, and then I will be getting print books and signed copies. If you would like a signed copy, you can just email me, and I have a bunch of them in my house, and we can try and see if we can get some to you. So, are there any other questions right now, baby?
Not at the moment.
Okay, so thank you to Christian for moderating comments for us.
Amber said it was cool that she was listening.
Oh, yes, okay. So I've done that twice, as I was saying, where I've had the two characters meet via a sword fight, and I will probably use it again. It is one of my favorite tropes. It's more common in the enemies to lovers subgenre, which I think I kind of write, but yeah, I think I do write enemies to lovers romance, but I've wondered about that recently. My own love story was not such an enemies to lovers thing. It was more of a friends to lovers situation. There was no great battle at the meeting of my husband and I, but we did have a bit of a slow burn thing that happened. What are we doing? Okay. So I wanted to thank everyone who's hopped on for this. Is our first live of my TikTok career, so to speak, and I hope to be doing these regularly. We'll come up with more of a structure and ways that I can have more content for y'all live. But I am going to wrap it up now. Oh, what is this? Okay.
You can just have a live view.
Oh, okay. So now I have a live view of comments. Yes, yes, Amber. I absolutely love the enemies to lovers trope as well. It's kind of dominated my reading for a while. I think I'm reading. Am I reading an enemies to lovers right now? I am. It's a slow burn enemies to lovers. So, but I wanted to thank you, Amber, for hopping on. Thank you for everyone else who's watching and everyone who's going to watch this in replay. I'm going to call it a night now. And babe, can you help me wrap it up?
Okay.
So thank you to everyone who's watching all around the world. Love you all. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.